IQ doesn't really measure intelligence. Why does it confirm all of my preconceived biases for different groups of people?
I don't know, maybe because of those preconceived biases you just admitted to having, bro. Just admit you're prejudiced, man. Like, how do you say that fully unironically?
Because bigotry is reasonable, ironically. Stereotype accuracy is one of the most reliable effects in all of social psychology. Every time they match up commonly held, generalized notions about different groups of people with the actual data pertaining to those groups of people, it consistently aligns, like, astoundingly well. With correlation, values always over 0.5, if not into like the 0.7, 0.8 range. In other words, being prejudiced is actually quite reasonable, and stereotypes don't exist for no reason, as the old adage says. Now, if you disagree with that, you disagree with the data, so which one of us is really bigoted? Which one of us has an unreasonable, obstinate attachment to our own beliefs?
IQ is shaped by childhood development, but mostly nutrition. Look at these studies in Afghanistan, where children were provided with more food and had an average of 15 IQ points higher than the sample size.
This is like saying height is exclusively caused by nutrition, because once you stop starving kids, they grow taller. Literally no hereditarian explanation of IQ denies that you need sufficient nutrition to reach your maximal genetic potential for IQ, but that doesn't explain why, like, literally dirt poor Asian people still have higher IQs on average than well-off black Americans. When you look at the levels of European admixture in, say, Hispanic or African populations, meaning the percentage of European DNA contributed, it actually positively predicts for higher IQ scores. Even when you factor in, like, colorism and, like, the presentation of that person's race to the world. Why wouldn't there be a genetic underpinning for IQ, just like there is for height? Or
saying the quiet part out loud? Yep. I wonder why there's no more research on this. Isn't that crazy?
Size or reaction time or speed of development in particular groups of people, because although racial categories are socially labeled, they still exist as general clusters of human phenotypes which relate to a shared genetic history. And it's not enough to just point to studies where they control for various factors and say that eliminates the gap, therefore the gap was caused by those factors, because that presupposes that all of those various factors were not also influenced by IQ. For example, if you were to just control for income and then the gap shortens, you could say, well, it's actually mostly due to income differences and then the kids don't get the right education, yada, yada, yada. But you're not considering the fact that maybe IQ actually also impacts income or education or the attentiveness of parents or whatever and what have you. And the reason this matters is because leftists want to insist that any unequal outcomes are necessarily due to systemic problems in order to say they need to have further control over the system. But if it is the case that there are some underlying differences, then that's simply grifting in order to gain power. But of course, these people would never do that, right? Anyway, the Wonton YouTube channel is up and running again. We got a radio hour now, link in bio. Go check it out.
I really like this guy.